Bluecoat is the first art centre in the UK, but it's got a much older history. And on this tour, we're going to take you around the building to reveal some of that story, and also to take you behind the scenes to find some hidden features. Bluecoat is Liverpool's oldest central building, dating from the early 18th century, as indicated by the Latin inscription that was under the pediment at the front entrance. It's translated as follows: dedicated to the promotion of Christian charity and the training of poor boys in the principles of the Anglican Church, founded in the year of salvation 1717. Building work actually started in 1716, and the first children moved in 1718, and the building wasn't complete until 1725. So it's slightly misleading, but that's when they dedicated the building, 1717. Bluecoat was a charity school for orphans, boys and girls, and it was established by St Peter's Church opposite on Church Street. This was Liverpool's fashionable new church, whose presence opened up this side of the town, on the other side of what they called the Pool, which was the muddy inlet that flowed from the Mersey and was filled in as the port expanded with the building of Old Dock. Old Dock was the world's first commercial wet dock, and its revolutionary design transformed Liverpool into a port of global significance, as ships sailing to different parts of the world could offload their cargo and turn around quickly. Bluecoat's existence and growth was closely linked to the port. A prominent merchant, Bryan Biggs, who also served as Lord Mayor of Liverpool, co-founded the school, continuing as treasurer and funding the school throughout his life. The building is part of Liverpool's UNESCO World Heritage Site, designated for its maritime mercantile significance in the story of Britain's colonial and imperial development. Downplayed for a long time in that story is the importance of transatlantic slavery, which was starting to develop on an industrial scale by Liverpool merchants, and the Bluecoat School was not exempt from this. Though Blundell retired from sea to devote himself to the school, he still owned slave ships, and his sons, who succeeded him as treasurer, were also heavily involved in the trade. Such was the significance to the school of funding derived from Liverpool's slave trade that it has been estimated that as much as 60% of the subscriptions and donations were derived from it, or from the trade in commodities enabled by slavery, such as sugar, cotton, and tobacco. This contradiction between educational philanthropy and the funds that enabled it coming from the slave trade seems incomprehensible to us today. And so what the Bluecoat has been doing since the mid-80s is working with artists to interrogate some of these histories. A former pupil of the school, Richard Ansdell, went on to become an accomplished artist. His best-known work, The Hunted Slaves, painted in 1861 after slavery had been abolished, is now in Liverpool's International Slavery Museum. Old Dock was filled in long ago and St Peter's Church demolished in 1922. So the Bluecoat building remains the most prominent symbol of that period in the 18th century, a time of extremes of wealth and poverty, a time of enlightenment and philanthropy coexisting with the barbarity of the slave trade. As the town expanded rapidly and the school became hemmed in by urban developments, after nearly 200 years, it moved to the Liverpool suburb of Wavertree, and shortly after, the vacant building became a home for artists, eventually becoming the UK's first art centre in 1927.